And we live, baby. You want me to open or?
Yeah, you told me.
All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations to the hopeful elect. So, you got it, brother.
Yeah, man. So, this was a conversation I had with Grok 3. You know, the spirit was on me, which is Grok 3 is another AI, which I believe is mostly used by X or Twitter or whatever. But they have a better understanding than ChatGPT do as far as like global events and shit like that. So I just asked, this was the question. I said, how will digital currency be tied to the micro C-hip being inserted under the skin? All right. So it says the idea of tying digital currency to micro C-hips inserted under the skin primarily stems from speculative discussion and experimental biohacking rather than any widespread or mandated implementation as of May 25th, 2025, which was yesterday. Mm-hmm. So here's an overview on available information and critical analysis. So they were speaking on, the first point was biohacking and early adapters. So they saying back in 2014, there was a Dutch entrepreneur that he implanted an NFC C-hip, which NFC stands for near field communication, which is very similar to RFID, which is radio frequency identification. But this is a technology that's spoken about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, right? And we believe that through the Spirit. So it's just going into some of the history of this. And he did this back in 2014, and he tied his Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency keys to this C-hip, allowing him to make payments by scanning his hand at compatible terminals. So now, all of this information, information is public, of course, but now the technology has already pretty much caught up. Because when you go to your kiosk or you go to your grocery stores and shit like that, we have the NFC technology already within our phones, and you can just tap. That's where you get your whole tap to pay. So something's going to happen where they're going to move it from this tap to pay to actually it being under your skin, but the technology is already there. Yep. They have the actual C-hips that can do this and hold your crypto wallets, and they have the payment systems that can scan said crypto wallets. Right now it's in your phone, but it's going to move from that phone to your hand.
Yeah, because of prophecy. Yeah, because everything, like you say, like even now, when you hand somebody your card, the first thing they do, they don't try to swipe it. They don't try to insert the chip. They try to do the tap to pay. Yep. And that's conditioning everybody to swipe their hand. And there's videos of people doing that. One recent video I saw, this chick was at a grocery store and she used, the device in her hand to pay for her, what she was getting.
Yep. Yep. It says, so that's that point. It says these C-hips about the size of a grain of rice are inserted under the skin, often between the thumb and the forefinger, and can interact with NFC-enabled devices like smartphones or payment terminals. They can store limited data such as private keys for cryptocurrency wallets, this is the point of the lesson, or payments information for contactless transaction. All right, because in Revelation 13 and 16, it speaks about no man being able to buy or sell. So it's going to be tied to your money. And they're making a push. If Trump came out and said that America is going to be the crypto capital of the world, but right now they're behind China, what's going to happen? They're going to have to make a drastic shift from your paper money to this crypto, just like he also said, Bitcoin is going to be the Fort Knox of the crypto and whatnot, which Fort Knox is where they kept the gold, which is probably not there anymore and shit, but that's what they're trying to do. Yeah. Like me and the brother was speaking on, they're going to try to make Bitcoin be like the gold and like Ethereum, something that's cheaper and stuff like silver.
Yeah, digital gold and digital silver. Because a lot of these other coins, they're valuable because of Bitcoin or Ethereum. Those are pretty much the two like big dogs in the crypto world. Bitcoin is the most known, the most valuable. Then you got Ethereum. And there's others, but they're not really, mainly those are the main two. So, that makes sense,
So you got commercial applications. Companies like Walletmore which is a British Polish company, and Biohax, that's Biohax, which is a Swedish company, have developed implantable C-hips for contactless payments. Wallet Moore's chip, available since 2021, allows users to link payment credentials to the C-hip, enabling purchases at contactless payment terminals worldwide. See? All right, so this technology is already here.
Yeah.
It's already here. We just waiting on it to be made mandatory.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we're waiting on. It says in Sweden, which we already know this information, but in Sweden, over 4,000 people have adopted micro C-hips for payments, accessing services like public transport, gym memberships, and retail purchases.
Yep.
Sweden's cashless society trend has driven this adoption, with C-hips used for convenience and in the line of cards of phones. It says how it works. The micro C-hips store a unique identifier or private key linked to a digital wallet. When scanned by an NFC reader, it authenticates the user and facilitates a transaction, similar to contactless cards on mobile payment apps like Google Pay or Apple Pay. We're doing it with our phones now. For cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, the C-hip can store private keys, allowing users to access their blockchain-based wallet without external devices. This is seen as a secure, portable alternative to hardware wallets, though limited by the C-hip storage capability. And that's what they're working on. They're working on increasing the storage of it and shit. All right, so now that this next part, they go into misinformation about like basically conspiracy. Because what us linking it to the MOTB, they consider it a conspiracy. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it is on point. It says potential future scenarios. Speculatively, CBDCs could be linked to micro C-hips if governments or financial institutions integrate them with digital identity systems.
Yeah.
Hey, ID 2020, Agenda 2030, they Project 2025, all these different agendas. So this AI doesn't know that they're not actively knowing that they're doing this, but we know through the spirit that they're doing this. So all the government has to do, like we was mentioning, is once they centralize this shit and they can control it, then they'll make it mandatory.
And that's where we headed, because Trump, he been saying he's gonna make Babylon the crypto capital of the world, and he got all this investment from Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Pretty much they're investing, well, mainly Saudi Arabia is investing into the AI and the pretty much everything that they're gonna use to get started up here, man. And then you had the governor of New York, what's his name, Eric Adams. He said, he's gonna make New York the crypto capital of the world. And you got BlackRock buying a bunch of Bitcoin, buying a bunch of Ethereum. You got JP Morgan, buying Bitcoin. Everybody is getting on this Bitcoin wave, man. Even the Saudi Crown Prince, he buying it. Everybody knows that. Even on that Coinbase commercial, which they got two of them, but on both of them at the end, it speaks about Bitcoin being the future of money. Because once everything is digital, then they can fully control you. Okay? You're not going to be able to what they call financial freedom, where you can get your money, you can pull it out, and you can put it in other banks, or you can pretty much live off the grid. You can have Bitcoin but having it in somebody else's name, and pretty much the government don't want you to have money without them controlling it, without them getting a cut. Really, that's what it is. They just want a cut of what you got. They don't want you to not pay taxes and all that. They want to fully control how much you have and what you spending it on. They want to control and govern everything, man. That's why Aaron Russo in the interview, we always speak on it. The apostles always speak on it. He's had the conversation with Nick Rockefeller, and he said their goal is to put a micro C-hip in everybody, because they got endless money. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do, but they're not satisfied with that. They want full control over everybody, man. And with them, eventually putting that C-hip in you, and that's the only way to buy or sell, if you get out of line, or if they feel, they got to make an example, they could just cut you off.
Yep.
They could cut it off, and you won't be able to buy and sell.
Yep. And that actually goes to the next point, which the next paragraph is privacy and security risks. It says critics highlights risks like hacking or privacy breaches or corporate government surveillance, like we just was mentioning.
Wow.
While C-hips are harder to lose than cards, they could theoretically be scanned without consent if not properly secured. In Sweden, where micro C-hips adoption is high, scientists like Ben Liberton have raised concerns about future risks if C-hips store sensitive data like health records or financial details. They're going to have that full power, autonomy. Health and safety implementation is minimally invasive, akin to a piercing with biocompatible C-hips posing low risk. However, rare complications like infection or C-hip migration have been noted. And long-term health impacts are understudied. And what did the scriptures speak about? That grievous sore. All right. So hey, this is what this is, man. There's no mistake about it. Not verse 4, the fourth paragraph. Ethical concerns. Adoption raises questions about bodily autonomy, working cohesion, and societal pressure to adopt invasive tech for convenience. See, but they're going to provide this as a way of salvation on the left-hand side. They have to, that's going to be their solution for all the chaos going on, because people are going to want to get back to so-called normalcy. It's not going to go back to where they're using paper money or using silver or gold. They're going to go and, hey, we have this new system in place. Yep. If you want to be incorporated into society, this is what you have to do.
Yep.
Right? It says critics argue that widespread use could exacerbate power imbalances, especially if employers and governments incentivize implementation, meaning making the shit mandatory. Yeah. That's literally Isaiah 13 to 16 right there, man. All right. So right now they're saying no mandate exists, convenience versus control. But in conclusion, so they're saying right now there's, it's small, but we know something drastic is going to happen for them to move them into this space. But what I wanted to prove by bringing this information out is they already have the technology. They already have the C-hip. They have C-hips made, man.
Yeah.
They're producing them. All right, they're not announcing that they produce them. They're producing them, mass producing them.
Yeah.
And once they centralize it, hey, that's what.
That's why they got the blockchain, man.
Yep.
Okay, see, everything is going to be stored in the database. Everything is going to go to pretty much like one big computer, to where you're no longer going to be able to, like with the paper dollars. You can get paper dollars. You got people that like sell drugs or, they do things to where the government can't track how much they're making. They want to be able to fully control and know exactly how much. And this is going to be the only way to buy or sell. So there ain't going to be no shortcuts. Ain't going to be no ways to get rich. Ain't going to be no other ways to escape, because it's all going to be tracked and traced, man. And then just like, even when you get on like Coinbase and these different apps, you have to put in your social. You have to verify who you are. So with this C-hip, you're not going to be able to make a fake account, what I mean? Still, you're going to have to be who you are, because this not only is it going to have your money, it's going to have all your information. It's going to have your medical records. It's going to have, your name, it's going to have all your information. And that's one way they're going to try to make it look good. Say you get in a car accident or something and you not unconscious, and they need to identify who you are. They can scan your C-hip and they'll get all your information. Yep. That's one way they're going to lie to you to make you take it. Yep. All right, but I'm in Habakkuk. I was going to read verse 6, but you wanted me to read. What verse did you want me to? Okay, come on. This Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
We're seeing the devil doing this. He's increasing that which is not his. He covers lands and covers fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. Like it says in Micah the 2nd chapter. This is that devil. He's been exposed. He's been, man, and this is a video I got to show you in a little bit that I was watching. I don't know if it was Pepe Escobar, but the first he was going into these Israelis being exposed, man. And we're in the time of Esau being made utterly bare. Nobody wants to be around you. The Lord has made you small among the heathen. But they're still going to try to increase that which is not theirs. And it says, how long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, meaning that debt. One of the biggest things, that's why they brought Elon Musk into the White House and shit like that, because they claim that there's $35 trillion worth of debt, which we know is more. But hell, that's a debt that they can't pay down. You know, you can't build a system, you can't have a functioning society based on that. And that's what they've been doing for the past however many years. And the only thing that's been keeping America afloat is the fact that they use their sword. Okay, if you say something about it, they'll sanction you. Or they'll come blow your ass up. All right, but see, that shit ain't even working no more. Because they losing against Yemen. You know?
Yeah, they pretty much had to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
They said, nah, we out of that. You know, we just gonna let y'all and them small hats go with it.
So the final push will be to bring some chaos and then finally come through with the solution like they're the Most High. Yeah. And provide this new life for everybody, man. Yeah. Because right now people might say they might not take it, but hell, if you've been being starved out, you know, you've been having to flee soldiers, you've been having to do this, do that. Yeah. Man, people gonna fold and they gonna line up to take it. We've been saying that through the spirit for years. Yeah. And these other congregations, guess what? They gonna fucking scrape and scramble for shit because their leaders didn't tell them or didn't forewarn them of the impending danger, man. Yeah. Our apostles and elders told us, man. All right, and I mean, hell, they say, look at the scriptures. What did the scriptures say? The scriptures say if you take that thing, man, you gonna be tormented with fire. Yeah, and brimstone before the presence of the Lamb and the holy angels, man. All right, so I mean, you should be persuaded in your own mind, but nonetheless, our apostles and elders have continually did videos on this. You know, since the Spirit, you know, made it manifest what that MOTB was. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and that's why we gotta, like I say in 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter. Speaks about if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? We gotta warn you of what's about to happen. You know, whether you here for a beer, hey, the blood is off of our hands. Yep. We told you. And like the brother, you know, going back to this verse, like the brother explained, you know, the thick clay, you know, the depth, you know, hey, they gotta, this is their solution. Just reset, just, you know, let's start up a new currency. And all debt is going to be cleared. Ain't going to be no more debt. Yeah. But even with that, it's who's going to be number one in it. Yeah. You know, who's going to dominate it. See, the U.S. wants to dominate it. They don't want Russia or China, you know, to pretty much be on equal terms. They want to be the superior, man. Yeah. You know? Because we're headed, just like in China, you know, they got cars and shit that can park on their own and drive on their own. And, you know, it's better than what, you know, Tesla, it's better than what we have here. But Elon Musk, he's doing interviews and speaking on, he was saying, hey, by the end of June, they're going to have more of these on the road. Because he was saying they got Teslas that drive by themselves already 24/7 at these different warehouses and shit like that. So they're about to fully push this shit, bro. Them Tesla robots, you can already pre-order one, and they only selling them for $20,000. That's cheap.
Yeah, to put you on a payment plan.
Yeah, that's cheap. You probably put a few hundred down, or at most 1,000, and you get to get it, and you know, cause he's pushing that. You know, everybody need their own personal robot.
Hey, that's that iRobot movie. Hey, he also building fucking highways specifically for these Teslas. Yeah. And they can go way faster than like on the regular road. Yeah. They can go like 200 miles an hour.
And he said with them roads and through the Spirit, it's gonna be these 15-minute cities, bro. These cities, they're gonna have, cause once you in these cities, you're gonna have everything you need. So you ain't gonna really need to go anywhere. But the cars that's going to be on the road is going to be like delivery food, you know, pizza, McDonald's, shit like that. But
goods and shit going back.
yeah, and he already said that on these roads that you talking about, everything like the technology they gonna have on the road is all gonna be connected with the cars and the AI.
Yep.
So
you know, push it as safer and shit.
Yeah.
No wrecks. Or very, very few wrecks in comparison to humans driving and shit.
Yeah.
You know, they might ban out motherfuckers driving. It's not safe. It's not efficient.
Hey, yeah. And then these car insurance companies, they gonna go out of business.
Yeah.
Cause ain't nobody gonna be buying no insurance when everything is driverless.
And then on top of that, with the 15-minute cities, they gonna slap y'all niggas in the metaverse, man.
Oh yeah. You gonna stay home. You gonna put this headset on, and you can go to the beach.
Bro, I was seeing just like they already incorporating this shit. There was somebody had put the glasses on or whatever.
Yeah.
And they was like looking for an apartment.
Wow.
And they was looking up. It had a whole city outlook. You could see the whole fucking city, and you could go and like look around it and shit, and look at the apartment before you even got there. So they already pushing for this, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, you got it, bro.
Yeah, let me go to Revelation 13. Or did you want someone?
Yeah. Where it says he put unto himself all people. That's mainly what I wanted to get.
Okay. Oh, dang, that's in the verse above that, Salakia. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all people, and heapeth unto him all... Oh, Salakia. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
That's such a heavy verse, because that describes Esau in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You know, he said, and is as death.
Yep.
All right, so this nigga's gonna go. He's diabolical. This is why he's gonna put people to death for not taking this seal, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And he's about to gather unto himself all people and heap to himself all nations. He's about to put everybody under this one government that's governed by this seal, man.
Yep.
Your money's gonna be there. Your health and identification will be there.
Yep.
And it's gonna be how you can recognize that you're a part of society.
Yeah.
We have been commanded not to take this, man.
Yeah.
This is pivotal prophecy. They're not gonna be able to establish this and just continue. Oh, it's gonna be 10 years into the seal. No, they're gonna break it into this shit quick. But they are gonna set this shit up.
Yeah, they are.
They gonna set it up.
They gonna think they won. That's why Job 20 goes into when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall rain it upon him while he is eating. The Most High want these devils to think they gonna win. Yeah. So they're gonna push it throughout a majority of the earth, man. And it ain't gonna be long, like you said. We ain't gonna be here 10 years. We still off the grid. We still, you know what I mean, Brothers got big ass beards. Brothers, up in, you know what I mean? Brothers ain't about to be off grid for a long time, man. Once they push this thing, they're gonna push it hard and quick, and that's why it makes sense why they're gonna set up first. Everything is gonna be the CBDC, because once everybody is used to this digital shit, then it's gonna be okay. Well, you got to take this if you want to keep, or we're gonna close your account down. You're going to lose everything you got. And if you don't take it, you're going to die. So it makes all the sense in the world that once they push it, they're going to push it hard, quick, fast, because it's going to be cut down to weeks. Once they really push it, bro, we could be out of here in 2 months, bro.
Yeah, and they gonna have rehabilitation centers, re-education centers. They not worried about the older generation. They about to kill these people off.
Yeah. Right? They want the youth.
You had mentioned like they knocked down them Georgia Guidestones, but they still, that's still their motto. That's still their MO. They want to cut this population down. So these old heads, they about to die.
Yeah, they gonna kill them.
These old heads about to die. These YNs about to die because they don't really want these niggas, these rowdy niggas, a part of their system. Like they really don't want. The only Israelites they gonna have are they gonna have these celebrity Jake
super
niggas
sellout niggas.
They can control. Workers. Workers for certain things and managers and shit like that. Jake does make this shit float.
Yeah.
But outside of that, just these useless motherfuckers on these women on Section 8. No, you useless.
Yeah, they gonna kill them.
Need you.
Yeah, they don't need them. Man, really, this devil, he's pushing robotic incubators, man. Yeah. This devil, robot wives. This devil, man, he's not, his thing is, and like you had spoke about before, the carbon tax. It's too many people breathing.
Yeah.
So we gotta kill these motherfuckers. Hey, that's just double. Hey, that's why I like the scripture you just had me read. And that's death.
This nigga.
This devil, hey, what does it say in Revelation 6? The red horse, he got power to take peace from the earth and was given unto him a great sword. This devil is about to use that sword, man. And he's already, they've been trying to take away the right to bear arms, but they're already prepared. They got a contingency plan for everything. They already know when they declare martial law and all that. They already know a majority of these Edomites gonna ride with their guns and shit. But they got, like we told that devil, they got robots and shit, man. They got this devil got all kind of technology that he's been keeping away from the masses. They're about to unleash this shit, man. And we ain't worried at all because the Lord is gonna lift up that standard. We gonna be good.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
But that's all you wanted in Habakkuk?
Con.
All right, Con. Let me I'm gonna just grab this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab this in Revelation 13. We already spoke on it, but just to nail that point. Yeah. This Revelation chapter 13, I'm gonna start at verse. Let's see. I'm gonna start at verse 13. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. That's that DEW, bro. That direct energy shit, bro. This devil can bring fire down from. That's why he think he gonna win. Yeah. He think he gonna beat the Lord, man. Cause they have lasers, bro. They just tested another laser weapon like a week ago.
They got them on these Navy ships and shit.
Yup.
It's gonna be like some Star Wars.
Yeah, they got it, bro. And best believe they putting them on these robots.
Yeah.
See, we seeing robot dogs that can reload on their own. They got machine. Bro, that's some shit they done made 20 years ago. That's some shit. See, the real shit, they're not gonna pull it out until they see that power. Yeah. See, that's all they need. Some 20-year-old robot with a machine gun. That's enough for these people. But when they see the spirit of the Lord coming mightily upon us like Samson,
they don't send it. They
gonna have to hold on now. Now we gotta go in the underground bunkers of the CIA in the goddamn Area 51. We gotta go. Yeah. We gotta take the elevator. Go 20 floors underground. Dang. Where they hide and all this. You know what I mean? They hide. They show you that in Invincible. You know that the Pentagon, Cecil, he got all kind of shit underground, bro.
Yeah, he be building them and shit.
Yeah. Remember you showed the video in the White House? They showed the underground. They got shit like that, bro. Yeah, they gonna release it when they see that power. See, these people ain't a threat. They don't need to release that shit yet. You know. Yep. For these people, they can send RoboCop. They can send these these other robots and shit.
Yep, going back to that story of Black Jesus or whatever.
Yeah. Simeon Toko, that was his real name.
It's gonna be more of them.
Yep.
Y'all ain't gonna be able to do shit.
Yeah, he told them straight to their face, man.
They took that serious, man.
Yeah.
They took that shit because that happened in what, like the 60s?
Yeah, something like that.
They took that serious. And that was before the great awakening of Yahweh Bashim Rashad.
Yeah.
Hey, that could have very well been an angel.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an angel. It was an angel because they cut up his body because they wanted to do research on him. But then he materialized right in front of him. And then that's when he was like, those that come after me, you're not going to be able to stop them.
Y'all done fucked up.
He
saw them fucked up.
Because he was doing miracles and shit.
Man.
So it's coming back, bro. He was speaking about the house of David, bro. The house of David is here. Yeah. But reading on verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. The image of the beast is their NWO, man. Okay? So it said, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. This is Rome 2.0. Okay? The deadly wound that was healed. This is Rome. This is the Roman Empire all over again, man. Not to get too deep into it, but there's a Senate. The plebeians and the patricians are the modern day Republicans and Democrats. And then even the structure. to the way the White House looks, and the structure, it looks the same, man. You got the UFC, which is the modern day Coliseum. These NBA, all of that is the modern day Brandon Circus, man. But now, which we know the Beast represents NATO and the EU, they're talking about the image. That's not Cesare Borgia. That's their NWO, man. Okay, so verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, because they got the power to set this up. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't worship the image of the beast, meaning you have to take that device. Okay, if you don't take it, they plan on killing you, man. Oh, he's a terrorist, kill him. They're gonna put everybody in these different groups, and this devil, he's already been setting it up, man. But now reading on, and he calls of all both small and great, rich and poor. He calls of all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the number of his Damn, Salakia, reading too fast. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So we already know that word mark goes to the Greek word charagma, which means an imprinted mark. And the root word of charagma is charax, which is a palisade, which is a pointed instrument. And that's how they're going to inject this device into you through a pointed instrument, which is the syringe, man.
Just like we read with Grok 3 brought the shit out. The artificial intelligence brought that shit out. And it goes under the skin, like a piercing.
Yeah. Like that's how they put it in.
So, hey, man.
Yeah, and it don't matter who you are. It say a cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. A lot of these prisoners, they might tell them, look, we'll let you out or we'll cut your sentence if you take it. Yeah. What you think they gonna do? They gonna take it, man. Rich and poor, it don't matter if you a homeless man. They want you to have it. Because Elon Musk is talking about universal high income now. So these homeless people, oh, what? I get free money? No, they gonna take it. And then the rich, these sellout niggas, these celebrities, the Jay-Z's, the Drakes, all of these sellouts, they're gonna take it and they're gonna promote it. They're gonna push it, because once it gets to that point, they can tell them, look, if you don't do this, you gonna be broke.
You're gonna be fucked up.
We're gonna take away everything you fucking got. If you wanna keep the money that you got, it's gonna be transferred to this digital shit, to the C-Hip, and we're gonna tax you more. You ain't gonna be living in a mansion. You ain't gonna be driving a Bugatti, No. Yeah, it ain't. It's the elites and everybody else. That's what they want. Ain't gonna be no nigga talking about his baguette watch and private jet. No, nigga. Look, nigga, we gonna use you to do this. You gonna do it. Because if you don't do it, we gonna kill you.
They might let him be a billionaire in GTA 6 metaverse.
Yeah, that's it. You can be rich in the metaverse.
Because the way they got that shit set up now, and they've been doing it for the last, 15 years? Like, niggas be having resources and shit.
Yeah.
And they gonna make that. That's why they taking so long with that GTA 6 through the spirit. I think they're making it compatible with the metaverse.
I do too, because they're actually, in this GTA 6 that came out, it's gonna have its own social media.
See?
It's gonna have its own real in-game social media, like a Facebook.
Yeah, people gonna live there.
So it makes sense. Yeah. They gonna make that shit VR, bro. They gonna make that shit. People gonna want to stay in that motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, they gonna sell They can sell all type of suits and shit like Ready Player One, where you can feel it. Because hell, even back on San Andreas, you can go to the strip club and shit like that.
Bro, they got shit like that for GTA 5, but you gotta spend a lot of money. Like on YouTube, you got people that got. The shit, and it's like a thing they're in where they're actually running, and it's running in the game, and they actually got a punch for the game. Like they actually got that shit, but it just you gotta have money.
They gonna make it.
Yeah, they gonna make this shit more accessible and cheaper. Cause if you get in the UBI, the UHI, the universal high income, when they're giving you this money. And then they're deleting it after a certain amount of time because you got to spend it. A part of your bills is going to be paying for that for that VR system.
Yeah, they're going to say, gonna send niggas a whole. It's going to be a New World Order care package.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your C-Hip.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your Tesla robot.
Yeah.
They gonna give you.
Yeah, and that robot is watching over you.
Yeah, they gonna give you the Tesla. They gonna give you the Tesla car.
Yeah.
You know, because they said they want motherfuckers to have that because they said the only person only needs it about 8 hours a week, so it drop you off at work or whatever, but it'll go make more money for you.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That you gonna get your UHI.
Yep.
And get your
VR package, your metaverse package, because they gonna keep you home, man. They don't want you out.
Hey, I can see it, man.
If you go out, that's why they got these 15-minute cities. If you go out, look, everything you need is here. They gonna have a McDonald's.
Yeah.
They gonna have a Burger King. They gonna have
Amazon store.
Amazon store. And everything is going to be 3D printed meat, lab grown meat, you know, bugs, and
and that's it.
And they're gonna have robots patrolling the streets, drones. If you out at a certain time, just like with the Crown Vic, if you was out at a certain time and you got pulled over, you had to show them. Remember, you had to show them why you out because of your job or whatever. It's gonna be the same with this. Look, you can't be out past a certain time.
Second exit 15, a man should have started going to a city and should not be able.
You got a curfew, and then on top of that, the robot that you got in your house, that robot is watching you. That robot is recording everything you doing and sending it to a database to where they're watching it. They're watching what you doing through your robot, man. Your robot gotta be there when you land with your woman, if you got a woman, because they gonna tell you to just get a robot wife.
Get with the robot.
Just get a robot wife. You know, your life will be stress free.
That's hell.
You know? Hey, they just want to put total hell on you people, man. You know.
And these women, they definitely gonna be down with the robots because
of course they are.
They got all these sex.
Yeah, they already into that shit anyway.
They drill the shit out of them for hours. And they ain't even got no sensitivity in their shit. But
they already gonna be with it.
Man.
But yeah, that was it. You know.
But hey, we see it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we visionary through the spirit, but we know they're not gonna be able to just set this shit up long term, man.
Nah.
You know, when they get this shit moving, and this is probably gonna impact more, you know, different spaces more than others. You know, your big cities are gonna be the main ones.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But either way, they're coming. The Lord said it's gonna happen, so it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. The words of the Lord do not go out void, and we seeing it manifest before our eyes. These prophecies were written over 2,000 years ago.
Yep.
And now we're seeing it live in color, how it's about to play out through the spirit with what technology is already so accessible. Because I believe, like Bros was saying, this AI shit, they not about to retract on it. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it was some GMS brothers speaking on it. They're not gonna go back, AI is feeding itself.
Yeah, it's still developing. It's still learning. It's still getting better and better and better
every day. So it's gonna suggest that like this is what y'all need to do. Just like we go in,
and they're gonna listen to it.
We ask AI and shit because really it's just a demon.
That's really all it is, just a demon. Yeah.
These elites is using it. How can we further control the population and shit like that? And that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Man.
Yeah. Because hey man, Esau's through. Yeah. So now they're about to just come with it, man, with the draconian measures. Now they're about to just reveal that they're the devil, man. You people gonna see that they're the devil. We've been telling you that. Mm-hmm. You know, Trump is a straight up devil, man. All of them. You know, but you know that was it. So want to go ahead and wrap it up? Yeah, so with that, you know, Lord willing, this was an edifying video. You know, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the elect and Abba Ball.